Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. Um, if you like real-time problem solving in the journal making world, then you've come to the right spot. I was going to do this in the privacy of my own studio, all by my lonesome, and then I thought, well, maybe someone would benefit from seeing this. So okay, just to bring you up to speed, I deconstructed 4 of these antique books. They are tiny-ish, 4 by 6. I have sewn in the signatures. I'll just show you one. And because these end papers are so perfect, I didn't think I needed to do the whole, well, let me get most of these out of the way. Give myself a little more room to talk here. Room to talk. Okay, so normally, you'll see it's a hidden spine. So that means that I sewed my single signature onto a cardboard backing and had this fabric that obviously covers that area. So, and because I was working on the contents of these journals when I was away at my retreat, and I didn't take a cover with me, they that isn't an ideal situation because, like, I think the thickness of the signature and the stuff I put into it is still manageable. I can attach a closure at the end. The other thing I did while I was away is I took these. Okay, this was a Christmas runner, so you can see the serged edges on the sides. I just randomly picked a height, knowing it was going to be bigger than the cover, and sort of allowing for turning it under. But now, I don't want to turn this under because, that's the wrong sequence here. However, I don't want to lose the width, because wouldn't that make great pockets? And if there's a little bit of that end paper showing, so what? So the quandary that I have, I started to say, the other thing I did while I was gone was I did some slow stitching. Here I did a back stitch around the perimeter of the poinsettia. Here I did some seed stitch. Maybe this one needs a little more. Here I did some French knots and some seed stitch. And again, I was at a disadvantage because obviously I wanted my work to be on the front cover of the journal. Front cover of the journal. Front cover of the journal. But again, without having one of the covers there, I didn't know exactly where that might end up. And likewise with this, I did here I highlighted the berries and the pine. So my issue now is to cover the journal, highlight the slow stitching, have the turned under pockets. Okay, let's get rid of these and we'll deal with one thing at a time, because I'm sure we won't probably even finish this. Now the other consideration here is that because I've already sewn in the signature, the cover is not as, flat and easy to work with as I thought it would be. So before I turn on the camera, I'm thinking, okay, obviously I want the slow stitching on the front cover. I would turn that under. I would turn that under and make pockets. But what about these raggedy top and bottom things? So then I thought, okay, this seems to be fraying quite nicely. And I reverted, I stumbled back to my high school home ec days, thinking that when we first learned to sew, we were told how to, I've got some kind of crud under there, but it doesn't matter, I guess it's plastic covering, how to find the straight, how to find the straight line. So at first I thought, well, and that's where I decided to turn on the, let me just see one more thing before I continue here. Okay, so in this case, my stitching is kind of in the center. So at first I thought, well, okay, I'll use that old trick from home ec where you pull a thread. So you can see it's fraying and there's more here than there is here, which means that if I were successfully able to pull this thread, I would have a straight cutting line. Now, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. It looks like, without jinxing this, it looks like today on this piece of fabric it may work. So the idea is to go slowly. I'm holding this bottom thread because that's the lowest point here, and you can see what a difference there is. Here it's almost touching the edge. Here we're already at the half inch mark. So well, let's hope this works. Otherwise, I'll have a journal in my future. Okay, now the serged, okay. Now, sometimes when you try this, depending on the fabric and maybe how tight the weave is, the string will break, the thread will break, and then you have to kind of redo the process. I think that I should be able to pull this out. And I did, intact. Now, I've got all this light beating down. Oh, see, it's much easier to see on this side. So look how crooked that was. And I'm the one that cut it, so I guess I can't get too excited about that. Now that means that I have, if I cut along that line, I will have a nice straight line. Oh, wouldn't some fabric scissors be great? Oh, those are pinky shears. Those are pinky shears. Okay, looks like I have to, now I could pink it, I suppose, and that would be a finished, that would be a finished, well, let's see. Let's just make sure that I don't do this to the point where I don't have enough fabric. Now, well, let's hope that the top is not as crooked as the bottom was. Because, okay, just to show you what my concern is now. If I pink this edge, and maybe this will be easier to see. If I pink this edge, then that's where I would be gluing it. If I cut the edge with just normal scissors, then I would feel obligated, I think, to stitch around to make sure that it doesn't fray after it's glued down. Now if we turn it this way, and I've got this cover edge lined up, Now it's because these are sort of a tomato red cover, it's not going to matter to me if a bit of it shows, because they're not in bad shape. Okay, so you can see, now I've got a little tab sticking out there, but you can see that I don't have a great deal on this side. So I think what I'm going to do before I do something I'm going to regret, okay, just a minute, I need this one more time, is at this narrowest edge, I'm going to give myself a little extra, because again, I don't want to do something I can't fix. Sorry, I keep turning this, but I have to be able to see what I'm doing, and I'm cognizant that you need to see what I'm doing as well. So maybe let me just make a pencil mark, and then I can remove the book. So whether I pink it or whether I zigzag the edge, boy, oh boy, I don't have much here, do I? I'm going to give myself a little bit extra, because if I end up having to pull 2 threads, that's better than making it too narrow. Although, I will remind you that in this business, there are no problems that can't be solved one way or the other. So here's where I made my pencil mark. Now I'm not going to pull all those threads. I'm going to try to isolate a thread like right here. And I did, allow a bit extra, and see if I can pull a thread at this point. Maybe I need to snip that so I have something to grab onto. Oh, I started to say there are no problems that can't be fixed, because if I really, butchered this up in some way, then I could obviously add some trim or lace or, something like that at the top or bottom. Now, typically I would want, if I'm going to experiment, see that broke. So now I have to try to pick up that line again. Oh, I can see it way over here. So again, I'm just picking that one thread, and hopefully it's the right one. If I'm out by one, I can adjust. Now you can see that this is not working quite as smoothly as it did at the top, but I think you can understand too why I have to do it this way. So again, I'm grabbing that short little tail and trying to pull this all the way through. Now I'll grab another little, can I pick that up? This is like, digging for a sliver or something. I guess I have 2 sisters, we all love digging for slivers, whether they're our own or somebody else's. It's almost like a family trademark or a specialty of some sort. Totally useless skill, but okay, I cannot seem to, I've got to, maybe it's because I'm right on, like this is a jacquard fabric, so maybe that's why I'm right where there's a little bit more of something happening here. Maybe I should just start a new spot here. Again, this does take some, a steady hand and some pretty good vision. Okay, there we have it. Again, gently gathering, sliding, gathering, sliding. Okay, and it even seems to have lined up. Okay, let's test it again against the cover. Looks like there might be a little surplus, but that is fine because if I choose to zigzag, it'll eat up some of that. Okay, so what am I doing? Now I have 4 of these covers, so I will have, you know, a few options for trying different things. I think, why didn't this go all the way to the end? Let me just do that so that I don't have a... In the meantime, I'm trying to do some thinking. I'll try to pick up a thread here. It looks like I even got the right one. Will wonders never cease? Okay, maybe, now we know that I can't edit, blah, blah, blah. So let's hope these are the fabric. I do have another pair. I can't remember which is fabric, which is paper, because I don't use them very often. Okay, I have more to work with here. Let's see if these are the good fabric ones. Oh, that seems to be pretty good. So clearly those. Now, what I have off camera here, I guess if I wasn't pinking, I would be using this cutting mat, this, what do you call it? Quilter square. Incidentally, I bought this because the price was affordable. I think I bought it new, if I'm not mistaken. Probably picked it up at Walmart. I don't like it because the markings are yellow. And black. I have another one that is red and black, and that one is a lot easier to see. So, note to self. Sometimes paying a little, and the reason I have all these rotary cutters here is because I wasn't sure how sharp any of these blades are. That one looks like maybe it hasn't even been used yet, so I was just trying to be like a little Boy Scout and be prepared. Okay, I think I'm going to have the peak of the little, the pointy part touching the line. Again, that gives me, well, a plan to follow. What was that? Oh. And it also gives me a little extra. Can you tell that maybe I've burnt myself in the past by not making some of these allowances? So again, if you want your zigzags to be perfect, you're going to line up those teeth, remembering that most of the cutting is happening down here where the 2 blades are the closest. I mean where the 2 blades are hinged. Now you can see why at first I wasn't planning to do this on camera, because I thought, if a person's gonna go down in flames, you don't necessarily want an audience, do you? But you guys have become my friends and my cheerleaders and my supporters, so I can risk making a fool of myself because you will forgive me. And I'll do one last. Okay. Now, should we try this one more time? So this is the top of the book. This would be the front. Oh, and I was brave enough to cut the top. Yowza. Now, I don't know, well, maybe I should show it this way. Okay, front cover like so. Now, if I have that lined up there, then you can see that I have about 1/4 inch to spare there. So, and that still leaves my slow stitching basically in the, now I suppose it wouldn't be the end of the world if I had it like, I don't want it like that where you can see the red cover. So if I go like that, then it should be fine. Now, where does that leave me here? And again, you know, pinking helps with the fraying, but it's not bulletproof. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the less handling, the better. Okay, I am going to, am I going to try to cut this? Oh, and it did work out without even being aware of it. It did work out well in that my more perfect cutting will be at the top of the book, and less, if something goes awry, it'll be at the bottom of the book. So let's see what happens if I line up. You know what? I think that if I line up this part of the pinking shear with the line, I should be pretty well. Oh my goodness. Okay, just do it. Or do I line up the, I think I have enough. Yes, that should work. Okay, I'm lining up this part of the blade with the line. And I'm just plunging in here. Now that's, I might have to move this so I can see it, and then you might not see it, but, oh, I guess it's working. Oh, let's try. It's going to work. Yay. Now, a long time ago, in a place far away, I bought, now if I can see it from across the room, I bought spray Fabri-Tac, thinking, oh, wouldn't that be the cat's meow for spraying a book cover and then adding, you know, fabric. Don't have to worry about bleed through. Don't have to worry about, you know, using a spatula kind of thing to spread it. But apparently it's very stinky, and of course there would be overspray and so on. And here, maybe 2 summers have come and gone, and I've never tried it yet. So we don't know how well that would work because I haven't tried it. Now, if this works like a hot damn, then I will do it on the other 3 covers. If when I do this, I think, oh, brother, then I would obviously modify what I'm doing. And then, oh, I guess, as I said, that one journal maybe looks like it needs a little bit more stitching. So I just didn't want to. Now, should I save those? I guess I should. I don't want anyone to revoke my journal-making citizenship. Okay. So I'm finding the center of the book so I can have it nice and flat. I think I'm going to be happy with that. So you can't see, but I can feel this is the edge of the cover. This is where the little gutter is around the spine. Now, another thing I typically do, so let me turn it this way, is I do the back cover first. Again, because if there's something that maybe needs to be adjusted. Oh, I need to pull this over because that stitching would have gone around the corner, around the fold. Okay, so I think what I'll do, you know what? Let's put a clamp on here so that this stuff does not move. I'm going to be using Aleene's Tacky Glue, which, you know, of course has pretty good, I mean, it's slow to dry. I find that it seems to be pretty good for not bleeding. And I do spread it with this because I don't want any lumpy, bumpy, or missed spots. So I'm going to start on the spine. Now the clamps are holding it, so, but again, we do always want to make sure that we get into those folds there. So let's just begin. I bought this bottle that sits, you know, upside down in its little cover, and it is pretty darn handy. Now, the last time I was at, I think I got it at Walmart. The last time I was there, I did not see, and I'm going to, I think, put it on this side as well. I did not see this kind of packaging. So I had some smaller bottles, maybe the 4 ounce or whatever, that you can, or 3 ounce, that you can get at the dollar store or somewhere. And I just topped off the amount of glue in the upside down bottle. This is not the easiest place to get into. Maybe I need a bit more. Okay. Oh, and I should have brought my bone folder here. You know, and sometimes if you see stray fibers or hair or something, if you catch it in time, you should definitely remove it, because that micro thin thing will inevitably show through. Now, I'm not running the glue around the edge. Well, I guess I could on this side, but I won't do that till I'm making a decision about the pockets. Okay, let's see how we can spread this. I just said I wasn't getting glue around the edge, didn't I? Yikes, this is thick. Looks like I didn't put enough on there, or these. Good grief. Or these flashlights of mine are really drying this out faster than I thought. And again, the reason, oh, there's a little culprit. The reason for this, of course, is to, the reason for spreading it out is to avoid any, now what kind of crud is this? I don't know what's going to happen once I have to retire this pair of jeans that I'm wearing. They're threadbare. They literally have holes in them. You know, some of those pants that maybe you've paid hundreds of dollars. This is drying a little too fast. It's making clumps. I'd better get on with it. I've just naturally worn these pants to the point of that happening. So, of course, when I pick some glue off my thing, naturally I'm wiping it in my pants because, hey, I'm really a 7-year-old boy at heart. Okay, so there is that little surplus of fabric. Maybe I should look at it from this side. Yeah, I can live with that. So we're applying pressure here. Now I don't know, sorry, that I want to use a card or anything like that. But I will bring one in case I need it. I will, though, dig into this gutter here with my bone folder. And likewise on this side. Now, I have done it both ways. I don't know that, and I was going to say I don't know that there's a right answer, but maybe the thing that makes something right or wrong is actually the stuff that you're putting on the cover. Now, obviously, I need this to be able to fold and to close. So at this point, I am closing the book. Now, you know, some videos will tell you, oh, you'd never do that. Because, you know, the paper will crack or it'll create that extra little bulk there and you'll have a little bulge. But it would be a shame if I went to all this work and then I couldn't close the book, because using a thumbnail in there as well. Now, you may have seen that as I was closing it, these clamps sort of slid over because, of course, the fabric had to stretch and go around the spine. That seems pretty good there. So, at this point, maybe I'll just tuck this in to get it out of the way. The heck, a loose thread. So that's there. Oh, that's my signature thread. Okay. So we know that this, the way it's sitting, that this book will close. So I'm just going to flip that back. Now I've done the gutter part, so I just now have my excuse me, my front cover to do. And I'm going to try to be a bit quicker on this side because you saw how it was starting to dry and clump up. Again, not the end of the world if this gluing doesn't go perfectly, because I'm sure that I'm going to add additional embellishment to the front cover in addition to the slow stitching that I've already done. I should have had a protective something or other here, but maybe I'll just keep my thumb in there so I don't accidentally slop glue where I shouldn't. Oh, this is unbelievably fast. Now, I would never try this with art glitter glue. I could try it with Fabri-Tac, but this just, I don't know, somehow seems to work better for me. And like I say, the fabric is thick enough, and I'm spreading it so it bleed through has not been a problem with. Now, would I try this if the fabric was sheer? Not so sure about that. This looks like a hot mess, but I think I better just quickly turn it over. I don't have, well, there I have something. Yeah, it's just, it's sort of clumping up there. I'm not sure why. As long as I pick them, though, I should be fine. Come on. Okay, here we go. Again, trying to keep this centered. Now again, this fabric is pretty forgiving because it's jacquard, because there's pattern and that subtle pattern underneath. Now there's a bit of bulk here where I've done the slow stitching. So again, if I had missed a spot or, you know, hadn't made good, applied good pressure and, excuse me, and gotten it to lie down perfectly flat, it would be hard for any of us to tell. I think that is damn good for problem solving. Now, oh, it's not exact. Oh, it's just that I haven't pulled it all the way. I was going to say it doesn't look like it made contact here, but and if necessary, I could add, and I would add glue at the front and back if necessary. So I think what I will do at this point is just slip an elastic around this book. Let's use a pink one. Let's just make sure, has that caught? Oh, no, it didn't. Well, that's an interesting development. And I've got a little tiny little fraying here right at the corner, so let's get rid of that. And I'm spreading, even though it's a narrow little thing, I'm still spreading that. Okay, so what I started to say is that I'm just going to put an elastic around this to keep, you know, make sure that the book closes, that it dries in that position. And then, you know, in a few hours or tomorrow or whatever, I will, sorry, I need to check this. Oh, didn't get enough there either. I wonder, was I getting scared because it was getting close to the edge, or what the heck? I think for the next one, what I would do is get a piece of plastic or parchment paper or something just to protect the underneath pages during this gluing process. Now, of course, if there seems to be, maybe I need a smidge more here, because I don't really want this to be baggy. And if I'm making this fold over into a pocket, then obviously it's only going to be anchored top and bottom. So I don't want a loosey-goosey, baggy edge to the cover. I want it to be crisp and beautiful. Sorry for being, but this is the kind of care and attention that goes into every project that I make. Okay, I think I've belabored that enough. You know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So I'm going to put this elastic on again so it dries in a closed position. You know, periodically I'll probably just, again, apply some pressure to make sure that it's making good contact, because that's the thing with a slower drying glue. I don't know about you, but I'm relieved that that worked. So I am going to carry on with doing the other covers. I probably have to add some slow stitching. I will probably do the same prep because now again there is a bit of shedding, but we're not opposed to something looking, oh, you know what, maybe the next one I will take to the sewing machine and zigzag. And then when I do a flip through of these, which hopefully is in a few days, you will see we'll all see which one worked better or which one you prefer. I just couldn't do the sewing with you, you know, midstream in a video. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this has emboldened you to try something like this, especially if you have a book that is in great condition. This obviously would not work if this was all ruined or dirty or marked up in some way, but so I'll be going through the same process. Now, I guess I said goodbye, but I'm still talking. You can see that I quit stitching kind of midstream here because I thought, oh, this is going to be turned under. I don't want to add extra bulk there. So we'll see how the straightening of this piece goes. I may be zigzagging right over there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already done so, I would appreciate you subscribing, liking, sharing, and of course commenting to let me know if I'm hitting the mark with these videos or if I'm talking to myself to no avail. Okay, thank you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.